What's up, ladies, gentlemen? Welcome back. Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come one, come all. Come see Jojo the dog-faced boy. He neither eats nor sleeps nor crawls nor creeps. He's 15 inches across the eyes and smells like a wolf. He's Jojo the dog-faced boy. Whoever that elderly man was that greeted me at the front door back, gosh, must have been 1977, 78, something like that. With that saying, and what, now it's 47 years later and I still remember it. Come on in, people. I don't see anybody's eyeballs yet. But let's do it. 2 hours. Matter of fact, that should be the length of this battery. So let's set the alarm just to remind me. Alexa, set the alarm for 2 hours. There we go. We're good to go. No excuses. Up there, 2 people. Come in, come in, come in. Pop on in, say something. I only have 2 hours tonight. Get your coffee. Oh, they left. Come on, guys. Stay here. There we go. One person. Come in. Come in. Stay. Stop. Stop swiping. Who is it? Who is it? Anybody? First time here? I still see a set of eyeballs up there. Are you watching? Are you in the background? Aha! Master Storm. What's up? There's like a 15-second delay from when you hit enter to when I get the message, so I don't know if the one person watching is still accurate or if that person has already left. What's up? Master Storm 562. Tell me about your screen name. Pablo Escobar. ¿Cómo está? Pablo. Yeah, I got a crowd. I've got 2 people. 3 including me. I just started, so I just opened the doors. 3! There we go. There we go. Awesome. Preach. 3. Stay here. It's a good, it's like I got 8 people's eyeballs, set of eyeballs, apparently, watching. Come on in, guys. Oh, it's a Minecraft username. It is? Recent name or old school name? Because my son used to play Minecraft on a regular basis. Master Storm. Oh, at the time you had siblings who was 5, 6, and 2. Jordan, do you recognize Master Storm in Minecraft? No? Oh. He doesn't recognize it. Snuggle Bear. Sorry about that, Snuggle. You snuck in there underneath. Pablo. Pablo, where are you from? Or where are you located? at the moment. Hey, guys, don't forget the thumbs up. Oh my goodness, how did that happen? There we go. I just ate it. You may not think this is very palatable, but it's delicious. I'm married to a Filipina lady, and she made me a dish that I thought, whoa, that doesn't sound like it goes together, but it is absolutely fabulous. Sardines in a can. Sardines, scrambled eggs, garlic, onions, tomato, all cooked down, like the sauce is cooked down first. And then you put the scrambled eggs in, kind of push everything to the side, put the scrambled eggs, cook the eggs up, and then mix it all together. And it is absolutely fabulous. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever. In my description, you'll see the what this channel is hopefully about. At least that's the goal. My emergency medical background as a paramedic from 1989 to 2008, and my time in the United States Navy as a corpsman from 1999 to 2007. I try to tell at least a story or two in those years in pre-hospital medicine. Let's see, what? Sell America out from under you after his term to a country that's underwater. Our money already changing. I didn't quite understand all of that, but what is that? Yes, the monster that told you to drink bleach and take horse pills is the man that's going to sell America out from under you after his term to a country that's underwater. Okay. Not sure what or who that is in reference to, but hoorah, Master. Praise God for the military. And free. That is probably the best compliment right there. That's who gets the credit for our military, right there. Amen. Hey, Marianne! Oh my goodness. Marianne. Are you live streaming, Marianne? Or too early? Thank you, Marianne. Maraming salamat. Marianne's from the Philippines. Master, where are you from? Free. Let's see how many countries are filling up the room tonight. Ray, how about you? Oh, Roy. Sorry, not Ray. Oh, Roy, I didn't read the one before that. After Donald Trump's term over, he's going to sell America to a country that's underwater. They're throwing everything in your face to hide this. Is that your own opinion, or you got some reliable sources that comes from? More. Gosh, I have to go backwards here. Everybody's sneaking in here. Vegas. Hoorah. Welcome back, more. Vegas. Awesome. Pablo. Free. Snuggle Bear. If you're still there. Marianne. How are you, dear? ¿Cómo está? 2 hours tonight, guys, till midnight. I'm gonna go to bed. Hey, Mr. Lewis. I'm going to bed at a, what's up, nerds? I'm going to try to go to bed at a relatively normal time. And I'm a little sleep deprived today, so I'm hoping it will be easy at midnight. So awesome. Dubstep silk. Dubstep silk. Awesome. Okay, share your nerdiness with us. CB, New York. Oh wait, have you watched American Sniper? Holy moly, these comments are just popping in and I don't even see them. I have. I think I have. Not too impressed with the Hollywood's version of the military, but Documentaries are better. You know, these guys doing their action cams at war tend to be a lot more accurate than what Hollywood portrays. Jamie Santana, Manhattan. I'm 2 hours below you, Jamie. Yeah, I'm down here in Atlantic City area. I mean, they're entertaining, but it's like being in the medical field, you know, and watching something medical, Hollywood's version of medical, and you tend to read right between the lines and shake your head and go, no, it doesn't happen that way. Free. The values of this country are etched into history. Are we willing to give up? The values of this country are etched in the Word of God, you mean, which is history. So sure. Are we willing to give up what our ancestors fought for? Right now, we're willingly oblivious. Tyranny. We speak about it, but nothing is done. Governor Waltz, Kamala Waltz for president. Kamala Waltz. There we go. That's a winning combination. Oh, the commie. Wait. I missed. Who said the commie? More. I'm not following you more. Yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if anything, hit thumbs up. You know, if you don't want to subscribe, that's cool. But hit the like, you know, the... Blue, of course. Republican. I mean, what does this say? Right? I mean, this is a red hat, but... Wait, is red? No. Red is Democrat, blue is Republican. Why am I questioning red or blue? Oh, Vegas. Are you in Vegas by any chance? Vegas? Is that music a little bit loud? Should I tone that down or what? Let's try the elevator music here. There we go. Turn that down a bit. Oh, you're responding to Master Storm. Gotcha. Oh, red is Republican. Oh, why did I think the other way around? So, or cool. That's what I meant. Yeah, I'm always picturing the elephant on the red background, and what is it? What symbol is the donkey on the blue on the red no, on the blue? Why did I? You're still talking to oh, Master Storm. Kamala is a mulatto cur. With no discernible characteristics elected on the Clinton murder ticket, with no ability to properly string together a sentence for herself. I love it. I'm going to just let you have the stage more when it comes to vocabulary. You're well above my pay grade, so. Oh, so you're on the Biden ticket, is that right, Master Storm? You're on the Biden. You support what he's done the last 4 years, and can go to bed every night and say this country is better off these last 4 years than the 4 years before it. Seriously, that's what I always think. Does Biden really go to bed, you know, with confidence in his decisions and actions and say, you know, go America, make America great again. Hoorah, Josh. There you go. We got Josh in the house. Seriously, though. So you're satisfied with the cost of living at the moment? Master, I'm assuming you're in America, or you're happy with the relationships between all the different countries, China, Russia, South America, Canada, North Korea, et cetera, et cetera. You're happy with everybody's relationship with each other and the United States with Biden, as opposed to the way things were coming together and changing during the Trump. Yeah, it's like I'm being almost facetious when I say that because it seems so obvious. Really. Yeah. I think Master, just this is me thinking, is you're not looking at Trump's resume. You're looking at him as a person. And that's getting in the way. Yeah. His work resume. MC. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you have a washing machine. If you don't, maybe we need to get you one. MCC is in the Philippines. Yeah, but see, everybody says that. You know what? Why do you got to look in somebody's closet? The guy's his work ethics, his ability to run the United States and change the world is unsurpassed. Nobody's ever seen anybody like him as a president since Abraham Lincoln. He's a felon. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. Was he? Master, do you know? Do you know his background? Do you know what's in Abraham's closet? Yes or no? Really though, people, it's personal. They're letting the fact that the person, they don't like the person. Our washing was broken, so I need to use my hands. Bummer. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point there. Moore said, just because the media or even the court system, you know, comes to a conclusion based on, the trials. Look how many accusations they've made against Trump, and look how many have stuck. It's like they're just trying to. It's a bigger picture than just not wanting him in office. It's a spiritual warfare, and they're trying to fight a spiritual warfare with fleshly weapons, and this is what you get. Yeah. Here, here's a something I was watching recently, or I just watched last night. Was it last night? Yeah, it was last night. Um, it was a professor, teacher in front of a college. Um, I don't know, a couple hundred college students in a auditorium, and he was talking about um, Black Lives Matter. Here, an example of how people are like sheep and just fall in line for the slaughter is in 2016. Here, I'm going to kind of give this, try to paraphrase his lecture in a nutshell and see what you all come up with. I'm going to get as close as I can using my memory to the numbers that were presented, but they're really close. And maybe some of you have seen the video. An example of how people are led by the media and believe everything that is said and so on is gosh, what has Trump done in office? What haven't you been watching? I mean, did you really follow what he was doing during his 4 years? Later, Master. Anyways, I'd hope you stick around just to kind of participate in this this questionnaire. It's kind of a simple question. But here's an example of how people are misled. In this lecture, this professor, teacher, asked, the subject was Black Lives Matter, the whole ambiance around it, how it came about, what it was about, and the numbers. When you look at the numbers, you know, what it actually reveals. The very first question he proposed to, it was a classroom. I bet you there was a couple hundred students in this auditorium, say 200, 300. In 2016, how many people do you think were killed by police? Police shootings. How many people in the United States, in the whole population, 370 million thereabouts, how many people do you think in 2016 were killed by police, you know, in some type of confrontation? And it was just, you know, nobody knew the number, but the two girls in the chairs up front actually got really close. They guessed 1,000. They both, and it was a white girl and a black girl. And they both guessed, they agreed with each other, about 1,000. It turned out to be 963. Okay? So in the year 2016, 963 people in the United States were killed by police. How many of those 963? Now remember, we're on the subject of Black Lives Matter. And that came about, by the way, by a pro football player who said a speech, and it prompted the BLM, the Black Lives Matter movement. And it was in regards to, you know, the unfair treatment and the singling out, racial profiling of, you know, the black population and lives being taken. Rodney King was part of it, and another black person, you know, that was killed. And which they were both felons, by the way. And it wasn't like they were killed innocently. Anyways, but that's beside the point. So out of 963 people, Brixley, how many do you think were black out of 963 in the year 2016? And I'm just going to kind of fast forward here. If nobody wants to participate, I can just kind of start popping in the numbers. But again, I don't know exactly the number, but I know thereabouts what the numbers were. And there was, get this. You know what, Brixley? You almost hit it right on the head. Out of 963, there was like 250, 240. I'm going to say 250 just to round it off. 250 people were black. Yeah, driving while black. They have a black if you want to. So yeah, out of 963, 250 were black. There was 600 plus white people. Get that. And you know what? If I would have guessed myself without trying to be biased, one way or the other, I would have guessed just about the same, because I knew, or I had a feeling that media wasn't covering how many white people were getting killed. The left tends to focus on, the minority. And so you don't see the big picture. And then they gave whatever happened to the other, the remainder of those 963, they showed Latin American, Asian, and unknown. And if you were to give those unknown numbers and you were to add that to the black population, just to, I don't know, not to say give the benefit of the doubt, but just to say if those unknown people were black also, it would up the number to about 300. And I was seeing about 40 unknown. So add 40 to the 250, thereabouts about 300. But still, you see, what we get from the media isn't necessarily what is happening, and nor can it represent. How many of the general public in the United States, out of 370 million people, does the media actually represent? Now that's 370 with 6 zeros after it. And what we see on the news is only representing like a grain of sand on the beach. And yet everybody speaks about it and talks about it. And even foreign countries saying, oh my gosh, what's happening to the United States? And I go, what do you mean? And they're saying, well, I see that, the so-and-so's doing this, and this is happening in Chicago, and this is happening in San Francisco, and this is happening in New York City, and this is happening. And I'm like, so how many people are you talking about that you saw on the news? I mean, literally, how many people are those news specials broadcasts representing? Out of 370 million people here in the United States? Do you think 370 million people are going through what the news is depicting? It was like when we were in Iraq. I was there and always saw, Terry. Well, I don't know. You tell me, Terry. Tell me what the news is. I'm just giving you the numbers. So you can come to a conclusion based on these numbers. Out of 963 people in the United States that were killed by police, right? This is just based on numbers. 600 plus were white, 200 plus were black, and then the various minorities, Latin, Asian, and other. Okay? So, you can conclude just based on those numbers. What the news is telling us is not what the numbers represent. Imagine that. I've been saying that, here in medicine, that's how medicine is passed, and how things are approved, is by the numbers. The numbers that the tests and the experiments produce is how they conclude things, whether to accept it or to reject it. You got to look at the numbers. And so it's the same with anything. You got to look at the numbers. And so, again, how many people are the media actually representing out of 370 million people in the United States? Oh, I kind of went off track. I said I was in. Okay, good question. There's a lot of factors, and this video goes into that. Now that you mentioned it, Terry, unarmed, were they killed unarmed and so on? Okay, then the question was asked. Correct, Jeff. Thanks for coming back, by the way. Good question, Terry, and I'll elaborate. I didn't fill that part in. The lecture goes into answering those, those what if questions. or did they have type questions. And he says, so now we got to ask, you have to ask in order to get the the facts, is were those 200 or black people, 200 plus black people, or those 600 plus white people, were they armed when they were killed? And it goes to reveal, yes, they were armed, and armed meaning anything that can kill another person, whether it's a weapon, a knife, a vehicle, which, as you know, law enforcement considers a vehicle as being a deadly weapon. And the answers were yes, yes, and yes. The overwhelming majority of those numbers were either armed with a weapon, a knife, a vehicle, or what was the other? It broke it down. And it was pretty interesting. And that just goes to kind of verify what I always thought, and that is, yeah, I saw that video too. Can hot water kill a person? It can definitely maim you and take my eyes away. Absolutely. Yeah, it can. Yeah, it can cause respiratory distress to the point of cellular permeability within the lungs and cause you to have irreversible lung damage. Absolutely. Yep. Especially boiling water is what I'm referring to. I think I saw that video, if you're talking about that same, where she had a pot on the stove and she went over there to turn it off because the officer realized she had something on the stove. So he said, you better go turn that off. So she went over there to turn off the stove and then took the pan to move it off the burner. And he said he drew his weapon on her and ended up killing her. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. But anyways, so he broke it down further. He said not only did he know whether they were armed or not, but what was the other factors? He covered the different factors. And the bottom line of the whole lecture was those that were killed were getting what they deserved from the majority, when you look at the big picture. It wasn't like they were found out later that they were unarmed and they were shot, in error or by mistake. Out of those 963, the majority of those that were killed, or I don't know if they said killed or shot, but were justified to get what they, had coming to them. So it's just interesting to see when you look at the numbers, the numbers tell a completely different story. And so my whole point was that correct, Jeff. That was the lecture that I was watching. And it was just 1 year. It was 2016 in the United States, based on numbers, that were submitted. There were 600 plus out of 963 white people killed by police, as opposed to 200 plus black people. And then they broke it down, other minorities, Latin, Asian, and they were just small amounts compared to the hundreds that the black and the white population represented. And then there was an other category as well, where they unknown, I should say. There's like 40 or something like that, 40 or 50 that were unknown. So yeah, my whole point to bringing that up is, what does the media portray as opposed to what is really going on? How many, we're talking a speck of sand, and that's not an exaggeration. We're talking, how many people does the whole media, I mean, all media outlets in the United States, if you were to count the number of people that they do news specials on, if you had the ability to count how many people it is the news actually talking about when they give a broadcast, and somehow punch it into a calculator to account for all the numbers that they're talking about, and be able to separate, one newscast talking about the same person than the other newscast, and then look at the population in the United States, and look at the percentage of that of the population are these news channels actually representing. And it's nuts. TV has been the biggest influence ever since it was invented. There's I saved it in my bookmarks. See if I disappear, I'll be right back, but I'm going to read it to you. See if I can read it to you. Here it is. Again, if I disappear, give me a second. I'm going to read it out loud real quick. I'm going to stop my camera just so that I don't freeze. Oh, it looks like I froze already. I'm going to stop my cam. Yeah, there you go, Moore. That's a good. I haven't read that, but that doesn't surprise me. It's just another example of, just misrepresentation. It's just there's obviously more to the agenda than just trying to, point the finger. Yeah, let me stop my cam just because I don't want to be frozen here with my mouth open. And I'm going to try to read this article. It's a classic. At least that's why I saved it. And let me see if I can. Oh, you know what? It says, "Do you want to leave?" It's gonna close me down. I wonder if there's another way of doing this so I don't get shut down here. Let me copy and paste it. Unfortunately, I'm not on a laptop, so just hang in there. Somehow I'm gonna do this. Okay. Sorry, guys. You know what I did? I could have prevented that, and I just didn't read between the lines, or I didn't do my homework. And that is, okay, I got audio. I was opening up a tab on top of my live stream tab. I was replacing it. Well, no wonder it closed my live stream. Okay, I just didn't open another tab. That was my mistake. All right. So, music's too loud here. Hold on. Well, I copied it, and the comment will not accept the entire article, but I'm going to piecemeal it here. Okay. More is in Spain. I'm sorry, you already asked the question. Galicia, Spain, the county of Galicia in the village of, I forget. He told me Monday night. Yeah, he's a young, brilliant young man. I got to brag on you more. He's like 28 years old and an attorney, and has a incredible, vast knowledge base. Okay, so here's the, or maybe I should just post the. I mean, come on, Gary, get your. Um, I want to post it so you all can read it, like right now, so everybody can read it. But it's not going to. Um, uh, it's too big to post, so I'm going to post part of it here. See if you can start to read that. Oh my gosh, that filled up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, 5. Um, that's the beginning of it. If you have time to read all of that. Oh, you know what? It's not picking up everything. So you're not even. I'm not even able to post the whole thing or bits and pieces of it. Oh, I just did it again. Sorry about that. Oh my gosh. I just filled up the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it didn't. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to just post the link to it and you guys can read it instead of trying to read it all. I'm going to delete all of the um, all of my posts there on that, and you guys can just go to the website and read it on your own. Um, there it is. Well, instead of reading everything that I just posted, here's the website. If you guys get a chance, go read that real quick. It's just a quick couple paragraphs. But read that story. And that's what I'm referring to as far as what media has done to the masses. And I'm going to delete the comments here that I just flooded my own uh, live stream chat room with. But that's perfect. This article, that URL that I just posted, that's the reason why I saved it, because it's so good. There we go. Oh, I'll be dang, Jeff. Jeff didn't. I'm rereading your posts. I didn't realize how close you guys were. How cool. Jeff is ex SAS Special Forces over there in the UK. Anyways, I think we all can agree that uh, the media, is not a reliable source of information. It really isn't. Unfortunately, I mean, people say, "So where do I get my information from?" Well, we have the internet now, and you can, if you're diligent, you can weed out the opinions and look at the facts. Oh, it looks like I did. Man, I did fill up the page with all that. Sorry. I'm going to keep deleting. Pretty. Oh, you're welcome on the compliment there, more. I'm catching up with all your posts. Yeah, I must have flooded the room twice with with that article, so I'm deleting them here. Ah, there we go. I think I'm caught up. Oh, Jeff, again, I asked this before. Whereabouts are you in the UK? I like that. I laugh when blokes in the UK say people from the US are not traveled. Well, actually, that's true. They're not traveled outside their borders, which is which is a really blinded way of looking at the world. You know, not, the world isn't like the United States. Not everywhere. Most of it isn't. Everybody's still there. More, you're still there. Jeff, um, looks like I lost. Oh, I got 7 sets of eyeballs apparently watching. Harumi, sorry about that. If I missed you coming in, I'm going back and Moore said earlier they have a similar problem here in South Africa when there is a disproportionate number of black on white crime compared to white on black, yet the media hyperfixates on white on black. Yeah. You know what? That's what the word race did to the world. Yep. It just separated the world even worse by even bringing in that term. That's why race has been abolished in the creation worldview. It's been abolished just based on DNA, um, research. I mean, it was obvious from the beginning. In the beginning, God created. When that is allowed into somebody's problem, I mean, into their equation, that's the word I'm looking for, then uh, we have a different worldview on things, i.e., the word race just isn't biblical. It doesn't fit. If we all came from an original male and an original female, then there's no difference in people other than the way we look and our skin color. But as far as a kind, humankind, we're all humankind. We're all the same. We all bleed red. We're all constructed the same. We all come from a diverse DNA pool. Just like dogs, you got original dog kind, and every canine that came from those original dogs came from the diverse DNA ability of the original DNA. That's why dogs are always dogs. They don't become cats. And why whales stay whales. And they have different species of whales, but there's only one kind of whale. And it holds true. Yeah. Is everybody still there? Did I lose Moore and Jeff when I lost the channel? Oh no. Oh, I like that, Jeff. Thank you. I hate to say this, but we need to turn Palestine to glass. Yeah, in other words, how do you make glass? You apply heat to it, right? Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get Trump's mind all I can do is pray that he does get back in office. When he does, if he does, I can't wait to see what and how he's going to change the world. Bottom line. You notice I said not just the U.S. I want to see his mind change the world like he was starting to do in his first term. Yeah, it's just bizarre and exciting to say that. Oh, gee, you're back. You know, I was thinking about you. What did you mean by that, OG? Notice how the word differentiated whales from the other life in the sea? You mean the actual word whale, or can you clarify a little bit? What do you mean by that? Oh, the word, like is in the capital W word. Okay, okay, okay. I think I'm following you. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, isn't it again, OG? And I remember, I really loved our interaction last time. I had no idea that that's where your mind was seated, that you had that foundation until we start talking. But doesn't it just start to fit and make so much more sense when you truly allow in the beginning God created into your thinking, into your worldview, how everything just starts to fit. It just falls in place. It makes so much more sense. It just makes so much more sense. You can say things, you can understand uh, sayings such as, notice how God's word differentiated whales from the other life in the sea. You know, in Genesis, it's, and then when you go from there and you just start breaking down your science, your studies in that particular field of science, you know, the study of marine life or study of life, period, how things just start to make sense. And you can go back to the Bible and you can see it. You know, if this, then what would you expect to find? And sure enough, you find what you expect based on the creation worldview. It makes so much more sense. Overwhelming. I've said this so many times. Overwhelmingly convincing. Yeah, it's I mean, how, you know, how, I always refer to, you know, my good old evolution, the greatest deception in modern history, the preface, because it says it so much better than I can. And that is, um, creation, as described in the book of Genesis, is perfectly consistent with all known scientific laws and evidence. And the scientific evidence is overwhelming. I challenge any skeptical person to give this book an impartial reading before dismissing the creationist viewpoint. I mean, you know, why would a esteemed scientist, i.e. Roger G. Gallup, PhD, you know, say that without without having anything to back up his, you know, his claim? I mean, why would he? He says it clear as could be. Creation, as described in the book of Genesis, is perfectly consistent with some scientific laws and evidence. No, he says all known. Oh, because he wants money? Yeah. There you go. There's a another sheep comment, and no offense, Danny, but it's the truth. I was just watching a video on medicine, a particular medical case where a family member whipped out their cell phone and started recording in the hospital room while a family member was dying. And there was so much left out and so much unknown about the video. But when you post it on a social media platform and everybody gets a hold of it and sees it, the most common, or I should say, a very common response to the video was exactly what you said. Because they want money. And there's just so much unknown about the video. But everybody just went like in a mob mentality and just started making comments, such as social media does. And they hardly had anything to go by when making their comments. And it was a situation where a family member was dying, apparently brain injured from an accident of some sort. And there must have been obviously a lot more going on in the video than what the video portrayed. But yet everybody was jumping on the wagon that the reason why they do this is because of money. The hospital just wants to make money. And I got offended by that because I worked in the medical system and I wasn't trained by the hospital that employed me. I was trained by another, outside university. And what I was taught is the same moral and ethics from a medical moral and ethics than everybody else in this world, hopefully gets educated with, the basics, do no harm. When treat others as you would your own family member, no matter who they are, enemy, friend, foe, whatever. Everybody's a person, and we have a systemized protocol that we go down and when we treat patients. I don't treat patients based on what Atlantic Regional Medical Center, that's just my employer, or who was my employer. And then for people to come out and attack me by saying, oh, the reason why they're doing what they do in the video is because they want to harvest that patient's organs and make money off of it. And it's like, excuse me? What are you talking about? I'm a trained paramedic and I treat people in a particular way for a particular reason. And it isn't based on my employer. It's based on the ethics behind medicine, which is based on the Word of God, by the way. And for somebody to come out and say, the reason why they do it is because of money. It's like, I want to give them the middle finger and say, what are you saying? I'm doing what I'm doing because that's what I know to do and to help a particular individual. Money is, I don't even know. I'm just concerned about, bringing home a paycheck when I'm done, of course, so I can support my family. But as far as actually doing what they say, doing what I'm doing because I want to make money, it's like, how much more offended can a person get by saying that when I just might be the person in the video, that's just doing my job? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, what video? It's a short, actually, I hit on. It's a somebody in a hospital room, if I can paraphrase it for time's sake, some civilian, layperson, family member was in a hospital room with a dying loved one. And apparently it was a younger, I'm going to say probably a teenager or something, that was in an accident, some type of accident where he suffered a catastrophic brain injury and he was on life support. And I'm just kind of assuming a lot here because I don't have a lot of information based on the video. But a nurse got a hold of this video and decided to do, I forget what that's called, where they take a video and then they put their own video on top of that video. and then they comment on the video, and they make their own short, by borrowing somebody else's video. Well, that's what a nurse did, and she made a short about this situation where apparently a young person suffered a catastrophic brain injury, and just these are assumptions just based on what she said, that the patient was on life support and basically was brain dead, I'm gonna assume. In other words, there's no reversing, what happened to the patient. So they were keeping him alive because that was the family's wishes initially. And then based on what the nurse said, there more than likely was a do not resuscitate order. It's called a DNR, on file, as well as a organ donor agreement. So I'm gonna just use my prior experience in educating those that don't know. You can sign a piece of paper or get a piece of paper and fill it out, expressing your wishes if you were to come to the end of your life, as far as, do you want CPR? And if you do, when do you want it? If this or this or this happens, then this. And, there's a lot of details in there, but you end up signing a piece of paper that says, in the event of this, this is what I want done, or this is what I don't want done, including donating your organs, your eyes, your heart, your lungs, your liver, depending on, of course, your age and the condition, and so on and so forth. So based on this video, this young person more than likely had a DNR on file, a do not resuscitate on file, and an organ donor wish signed. And then when this kid apparently started to die, come to the end of his life, the family was present in the room. And believe you me, having been in the medical field for a number of years, people will do crazy things when they're put in a position that they've never been put in before. And a person, a loved one dying is I mean, I can put myself in those shoes. My dad died, and the emotions I went through when that happened were just, there was no way I could foresee that. It was weird that 3-4 days or more afterwards, watching TV in total normal remote in my hand or whatever, and all of a sudden just breaking down into tears and sobbing while I'm watching TV. And I'm just like, where in the world did that come from? I wasn't even thinking about my dad. But just, I'm giving you an example of what people will do, how it affects people is bizarre sometimes. So in this situation, family was in the room when apparently this patient was crashing, as we call it in the medical field. And they started to freak out. Even though there was a do not resuscitate order and an organ donor, I'm assuming this just based on what the nurse was filling in on down in the bottom corner of the video. The family, and this happens so much, the family makes a change of mind, and they're like, oh my gosh, sometimes they're not even thinking that there's a do not resuscitate, that they just signed a do not resuscitate order, and they freak out, and they got somebody on this kid's chest doing CPR, and yet there's a do not resuscitate order, and they're the ones apparently that signed it. That's usually the case. It's called a power of attorney. Not always does somebody have a power of attorney, but in the event there's a power of attorney, somebody else is making decisions for you because you're unable to anymore. It's not unusual for even the power of attorney, the mother or the wife or whoever is the power of attorney, to all of a sudden just freak out and start doing CPR on their loved one that they already made a decision to do not resuscitate, and organ donor. And the reason why I'm emphasizing organ donor is because organ donor can mean anything that's viable, that the medical community determines as being viable and can be donated to another person. The eyes, the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidney. And so if you start crunching on somebody's chest, and believe you me, it's traumatic. I've been there, done that, and it's gross just doing it and feeling and listening to the human body and everything inside of it react to that much pressure, on the sternum. Not to mention what it is actually doing to the lung, as far as damage goes, to the heart, and so on. And so now you got that person all of a sudden becomes not more than likely not a candidate to be an organ donor anymore, because family all of a sudden started freaking out and doing chest compressions on their child, which is not unusual. I mean, it's your child dying, but they really don't understand what they really just signed and what that's going to do to them emotionally when that person, all of a sudden loses a heartbeat, or stops breathing. And that was the scenario in this video. And yet the comments that were being made were just as what you said. Why would people do that? For the money. And people were going, oh, I used to belong to such and such healthcare, and when my mother was admitted, they did everything they could to avoid treating her, and just so that they could collect the organs and harvest the organs after she died and make their money. And I'm like, seriously, really? Are those that you're apparently speaking about that are wanting to collect your money, are they actually putting the hands on the patient and doing the CPR or the intubation? And I'm not going to go into detail, but and doing these advanced procedures, i.e., me starting IVs, pushing drugs, defibrillating, putting electricity through somebody's body, because I'm concerned about the money that the hospital's going to make from harvesting their organs. I don't do this, but I would be like, how dare you insult me that way? It's like, are you kidding me? Lay people have no clue. They have no clue. It's like being in war and knowing what Jeff Sasso and myself and others have been through at wartime, and then making your comments back home as far as, anything regarding us over there. You have no clue. No clue. You only know what the media feeds you and what Hollywood fills your eyeballs and ears with. But were you there? No. So how can you know? It's out of control. Read that website that I posted. I'll post it again. Again, I don't use my middle finger, but get me worked up over that, and the worst comes out in me. And it's like, are you kidding me? To play that card? It's like you have no clue. You have no clue what you're talking about. Read that, go to that website and read this story. It's a fictional story, but it holds so true, and it is so applicable to what we're talking about and why people say and do things based on what they hear and what they see. Say that again, Jeff. In your 8 years, I felt like you talk about the USA, cared about the job more than they cared about their people. Now that's just an assumption. I mean, people can think all kinds of things based on what they see and what they hear, even if it was a soldier, saying something or doing something. While you were there, you may have overheard a soldier say. But I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, a lot of the kids, I call them kids, in the military really don't realize what they're actually doing when they have a 240 Golf machine gun in their hand, and having gone through the training they just went through and or experiences they just experienced, and now they're just going on a mission, to go get some, as they say in the Marines, and actually have a perception of why they're actually doing what they're doing. But you know what? That isn't, again, I hit on this before, and that is, it would be different if the soldiers actually were more educated on who they were as a military representative and why they were doing what they're doing. But the bottom line is, they put their signature on the dotted line. They volunteered for this, and now they're just being trained in a particular profession or focus, and they're being told to go by people that they have no control over. So it's not up to them to know why they're carrying, a 240 Golf machine gun with, 2,000 rounds, with a partner, out in harm's way. They're not, that isn't part of their curriculum, at least not their focus on learning how to shoot that weapon. They just get orders by those above them, and then they go on a mission and they take care of business, and they have an objective to get done, and the other focus is to get them home alive. So you might just see kids out there that seem to be more concerned about the job than they are about their own people. I can see that. I saw that over in Iraq. That's furthest thing from a Lance Corporal's, mind is, to answer a question of, do you really know why you're over here, or what it means to improve or secure the safety of those back in the USA? They wouldn't do very well on that question. But if you ask them how to fire an M16 machine gun and give you all the specs behind it, they'd ace that. That's like me, Jeff. I didn't really, was that my focus when I was over in Iraq? Of course not. I just wanted to do my job. As morbid as my job is, and you guys, a lot of people, it's like, oh my Lord, the guy's nuts. But it is true. We have the corpsmen, the medics are a different breed of people, in that, my focus is where I get my adrenaline rush from, will put you on your knees and puke, and just wonder what in the world, or how in the world can they do that? And yet it's a rush for me because I get to perform procedures that I only learned about in a book in a classroom. And now I've got an opportunity to actually do it on somebody. Oh, it's the truth. It's like, yeah, that's my get some. It is. My commanding officer, I said this before, my commanding officer did that when we first arrived in Iraq. After he gave us our first brief at our first muster the next morning we arrived. And we all woke up at 7 and we were there and he was addressing us. And after he was done, he's like, all right, guys, let's get some. And he rubs his hands together. And we're thinking, okay, the other guys were thinking, well, he doesn't mean that like get some with his M16 around his shoulder. He's talking about let's treat some people. And in order to treat people, what does that mean? You got to be sick or injured. Wow, it's like, what a wish. But what am I going to do for 7 months if somebody doesn't get sick or injured? Speaking of boredom, dude, spend 7 to 14 months in the middle of the desert, in the middle of a barbed wire that is 1/8 of a mile round. You're like a caged animal. And you every once in a while get to go outside the wire, to go over to the ING compound, the Iraqi National Guard compound, to go give a class or to go eat some of their food or whatever business you have over there. Or you might be able to go into a back of a 7-ton and go out on patrol, and be scared crapless because IEDs and vehicle mines and personnel mines. What a thrilling vacation that is, right? Yeah, so anyways, I hope I didn't lose too many people. Looks like I did. But that's what I meant. That's what I was referring to, Danny. And sorry if I jumped on your comment, but it was perfect to it was a short and I don't even I'd have to you know what? I'd have to get a phone. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I might be able to post it for you, Danny. If you're still there, Danny. At midnight, I'll try to wake up. If I don't wake up in the morning, Mom will let you know. Well, I would just in case. Let me see if I can pull up this. It should be in my history. Let's see. There's history. See if I can. Yeah, this is all my short history. Should be here. I actually commented on this video, kind of left my 2 cents in from a medical standpoint, as far as some unanswered variables in the video that people just don't know, that they have to consider before coming to a conclusion and making a comment. And they just wouldn't know unless you're in the medical field, Amazing how many videos and shorts. That's today. And we're talking about today. It must have been yesterday. History. How do I go before today? Let's see here. There's got to be like a criteria I can put on shorts. Clear all watch, manage all, watch on TV, pause, clear, manage. Um, okay, this has got all history. You know, it really the actual video and watching it wouldn't change anything. It was just an example of what we were talking about making coming to conclusions, uh, being influenced by the media, how people respond to um, situations just because of their based on their emotions or being misinformed, et cetera, and how viral that can become and out of control and totally taken out of context based on not having the information before you come to a conclusion. And that was just another example of that. Oh, Jeff, um, you had to go to work. I was rereading what you said, so you may not be around there. But yeah, thanks for seeing that I was on. I'm going to be on for another looks like 38 minutes or so until midnight, and then I'm gonna hit the rack and go supine and close my eyes. I should be able to sleep pretty sound. I'm working on 5 hours of sleep right now, and I did that on purpose so I could actually get to bed at a decent time and start this attempt again to convert my body back to a daytime schedule. And I can feel it in my head and my eyes that it's going to be I'm going to be worked come 40 minutes from now. MC Marie Maricar, are you live streaming right now, dear? It looks like the most part of the crowd, I'm stuttering again, actually disappeared by now, but that's too bad. Thanks all those people that came in there at the beginning. That was pretty um, impressive again to see the variety of users I haven't seen before pop in. Brixley, are you still there? Uh, some of these comments I can read or get the gist of, and then other times I'm like, what is he actually trying to say here? But I think I got that one. I'm rereading some of the, see what I missed. I read this before, Jeff. I know you had to go to work about California being the size of UK. But you know what, Jeff? Here, I know you're maybe not here, but even though the state of California is as big as it is, and the US is as big as it is, to actually say that somebody in San Diego has seen Northern California up near Mount Shasta, which is near the northernmost border of California, is far and few between. You're not going to find a native San Diego person uh, having had the opportunity or the reason for driving up to Northern California, 1,000 miles away. Yes, people do that trip, but from like you know, how many people, the population of San Diego, what percentage of the population of San Diego has actually visited Northern California? Like, so they're not well traveled. They don't even know what their own state is doing in the northernmost part of it. I'm sure it's the same in any other, part of the world. The majority of the people from a particular center, of a country or a city, having had the opportunity to travel to these little, hamlets and villages all throughout their whole country, are far and few between that they've actually done it and actually know, what it's like to live in those parts of that country. Some people may have had, but probably even like I say, when I share with fellow Filipinos, um, the areas, the places that they visited in their country, they are telling me, boy, you've traveled more in my country than I have. And it's like, well, there you go. That's just a good example. As a tourist, more tourists have probably visited more parts of their country than they've had an opportunity to visit due to various reasons. One being the one I already mentioned, and the other, the biggest one is money. People don't make enough money to get on an airplane or a boat or by land to travel from the northern part of Luzon down to the southern part, you know, unless they go on a vacation one every 10 years or whatever to get down there. Okay, sorry. Looks like a lot of people have disappeared and there's a few people in the background. My icon up here, my little eyeball icon says there's 4 people watching. Are you still there? Raise your hand if you're still hanging out on the channel. I know Marie is still here. That's MCC channel. Who else is still lingering? Anybody? Five people now. Come in, come in. Repopulate this channel before I have to go in 30 minutes. There's OG. Awesome. Terry. All right. Let's. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't even see. Gosh, these people just pop up. Noob. How much is your cam? It's so good. It's a digital single lens reflex. It's a Lumix F300. I think I'm quoting that correctly. It's about the same as an action cam. It's about $400 US dollars. I'm gonna say, is it 500? No, I believe it's under 500. It might be a little more expensive, like $100 more than the GoPro or the one I have. I have two of them. Oh my gosh, the drone company from Japan. Osmo Action Cam. Darn it, who makes the drones? And Terry, why do conservatives speak against their own interests? Oh, you know what? To tell you the truth, Terry, I'm not particularly versed on politics. I just know bits and pieces, of what I've been following. But as far as like speaking in detail, I wish Moore was still here. If Moore, are you still there? Even though he's not a U.S. national, Spain is his country. He would probably be able to speak for me, ready that more so than I can. But awesome, OG. Terry, real quick. No, I'm in New Jersey, about 2 hours south of New York City, southern part of New Jersey. And yourself? And what did you want to debate about, Terry? I'm scrolling back here. It's like, wait, were you here earlier? No, that was Danny. Okay, Terry Williams. Terry, were you here already? I'm scrolling back. I don't see you. Oh, there you are. Yeah, you were talking about when I had to leave and it ended up restarting my live. Yes. Are you standing one? If you stand it. Oh, yeah. You were talking about. Oh, that was when we were talking about the. Yeah, the movie, the video I was watching about Black Lives Matter and the numbers that this teacher presented to the class and so on and so forth. Okay. I just had to re-educate myself as far as who you were and what we were talking about. But yeah, introduce yourself. Who are you, Terry? Where do you come from? What's your age group? Education? Field of work or study? Oh, and your comment, been there, done that? Where? I forget what I was saying when you said that. What have you been there, done that? Or what have you done and where have you been? And speaking of Florida, my daughter and family, my grandkids, are down in Florida. And OG, trying to remember, where are you again? Risk it, crypto. There he is. Sorry, I'm not getting the notification that I have more new comments. All of a sudden I see a space below and I went, oh, 56, geometry teacher. Awesome. My son is starting his second year college in September, and he has to start his, not speaking of geometry, but his, what you call it, and lab associated with that. Physics? Yeah. Physics in his physics lab. He's anticipating, we're all kind of anticipating that it's going to challenge him, but he's ready to. He's a brilliant young man. You're in South Carolina. That's right. Right. Having spent 20 years in Tampa. Okay. Yeah, well, my daughter wasn't far from you. Down in Florida, that is. But your forte is politics. Oh, well, then you're above my pay grade already, Terry. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm not one too versed in politics. What about you, OG? I'm looking for somebody to substitute for my position in politics. Cosmo. Welcome back, Cosmo. Hey, Terry, by the way, thanks for finding me. I don't think you've been here before. Don't forget the thumbs up, everyone. You know, the like. Hit the like at least. You don't have to subscribe if you don't like. But yeah, thumbs up would help. That'll help the more people get the recommendation. Oh, there you are, Risk It. I'm sorry. See there? Risk It said, "Can I help you?" Yeah, Risk It. I'm sorry. I'm not. It's weird how I'll be talking and looking at the chat room, and all of a sudden I'll look up and I'll see comments that I didn't even know were there. Wait a minute. Wait. Wait, Terry, you're in Vineland? Are you really? Oh my gosh, we're neighbors. Gosh. Where did that come from? I saw the "I'm ready to debate you," but below it wasn't Vineland, New Jersey. Where did that come from? Dude, are you really in Vineland? Oh my gosh. My wife's CPA is in Vineland. That's where she goes to have her taxes done. Oh, that's good, OG. I'm obsessed with politics, even though it's terrible for my peace. Yeah, that's true. Get you all worked up at times. Ooh, I like that's a pretty profound statement, but a lot deeper than just saying it. I was just listening to another um, description of the Marxist capitalists and how that is associated with communism. That whole progression. And that's not my forte, but I've heard that before, and I've seen it in diagrams and presented on a PowerPoint, and it's pretty profound to see the connection. So to say you're either for freedom or communism. Yeah, it's the truth. It's either about freedom, which is ultimately the word of God, or Satan. It's true. That is the truth. That is the way, the truth, and the life. That's it. Well, cool. We got OG and Risk It. You guys, yeah, have at it. That would be it'd be a nice thing to just watch and interject every now and then with my limited political knowledge. But I'm all ears. If politics doesn't affect your peace, you must not have feelings. Although, you know what? I thought about that, OG, already. I was going to say, you guys have at it. Just keep the blood pressure down. But, you know, some people are able to do that. And I always wonder, it's like attorneys. Speaking of attorneys, there's an attorney in the house. His name's Moore. He's a brilliant youngster that is an attorney. And yeah, to be able to, go at it and object and, try to prove each other wrong, and then to be able to go out to lunch with each other, and not have any hard feelings towards one another. It's like, okay, like he said, if politics doesn't affect your peace, then you must not have feelings. Devil's Playground, and he has everyone played Divide and Conquered, and he's winning. Yeah. Well, no, God wins all wars. He's winning while on this earth because this is his playground. I'll agree with that. But ultimately, he's whooped. He's done. He's already done. It's done. It's finished. That's it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's why your next quote you didn't see. Yes, my next quote you didn't see. Devil Playground. Let me scroll back a little bit. Freedom of communism. Yeah. Your hat stands for freedom. Okay, I caught up on your comments. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, and they're not just sayings, but the verse, and I don't know, I can't quote which one it is. That is, all things work together for the good. But there's more, and a lot of people don't uh, consider the next verse, and that to those that love God, to those called according to His purpose. You see, no matter what happens, that's saying, no matter what happens on this earth, if you believe in God, if you believe in the beginning God created, then all things work together for the good. All things. All means all, and that's all means. That's a win-win proposition right there. You want to win no matter what happens, you know? Believe in God. Believe in Him. It really is that simple. Believe in Him. Understand Him. That's the dissecting and defining aspect of the word believe. You need to study before you can believe. In other words, you got to get all the facts. Not all, but as much as you can to come to a conclusion that, okay, now I believe that. Otherwise, you're just saying, I suppose, or I think. We all have a purpose. How do you implement your purpose without manipulation? Well, first of all, it's not my purpose. It's God's purpose. Get that squared away. And then once you give Him the credit for your purpose, how do I implement His purpose? Believe in Him. You don't need manipulation. That has nothing to do with manipulation. That comes to a choice. You either believe or you don't. Boy, thank God for bringing that in alignment. That's exactly. See, it's not our purpose, Terry. It's not about us. It's about Him. And so if it's about Him, then you have to rephrase what you said. How do you implement His purpose without manipulation? Believe in Him. Believe in Him. That's a choice. That's your choice. That's my choice. That's how you implement God's purpose. Believe in him. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Man, God is good. So simple. Yes, sir, he did, Terry. In the beginning, God created. That's right. When you allow that into your thinking, everything else follows. Everything else fits. Overwhelmingly convincing. And the information's out there, Terry. Just as it was for me, it's out there for you too. And you got to go and get it. Yep. That's right. That's it. That makes so much sense. I hope so. Yeah. So your will is his will, if you believe. If you believe. There's the condition, Terry. That's it. You know what? His will was my will. Absolutely. You know what? And a lot of people, let me run with this here for a second, because it's good about what you're saying, Terry. If he created you, so your will is his will. It was. Okay. In the beginning, you can read that. You can go right to Genesis, go to Genesis and start reading the first 6 days of creation. Okay. And you will find that when he created man and woman, mankind, we'll just call it mankind to include both. When he created mankind, his will was our will. Absolutely. And vice versa. No disagreement there. But most people have heard what happened next. He said, you got everything. Everything I gave you is yours. Enjoy it. I'm paraphrasing Genesis. Enjoy it. But I don't want you to go over to that particular tree over there and take of the fruit of that. Just one commandment. Don't go over there and mess with that one. And most of us know what happened after that. We made the choice to go against his will. You see? So now we're divorced from his will. His will is no longer our will. It can't be. Light can't exist with darkness. So he had no choice but to separate. In fishing, we call it culling. He had to cull us out. And from that point on, he's been trying to get us back. Isaiah says it. Isaiah 55. Isaiah 55. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing it on the banner that I saw. 55:7. He said, "Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord." That means he was there once before. Unto him. And he will have mercy upon him. Mercy is not getting what you deserve. What do we deserve? Well, what does a righteous judge give somebody that has been sentenced to death? He gets death. You want me to prove you've got the death sentence? Are you going to die one day? Am I going to die one day? You want me to prove you're a sinner? You want me to prove I'm a sinner? For the wages of sin is death. That means what you get for being a sinner is death. That's what a just judge does. He gives what you deserve. You see? So we're not part of his will anymore. But from that point on, that divorce, I'm taking off my ring, from that divorce, he put together a love letter, basic instructions before leaving Earth, Bible, to bring us back so we can get remarried to him, so we can be his part of his will once again. And he said, all you got to do is believe me. Believe that I came in the form of a man named Jesus Christ. I actually lived, that this is actually a history book, and that it is the written word of God, written by man, but breathed into those that were writing it. He said, and know that I suffered all the pain and suffering of you and those before you and those after you. I took upon all that physically and mentally upon myself. And I was convicted as an innocent person and put to death. I was given the death sentence as an innocent person, all for you, so you don't have to go through what I went through. I'm doing this all for you. Why? Because I love you so much. I want you back. So I'm going to take the punishment so that you don't have to go through this when you take your last breath, and you'll be separated for an eternity and you'll never have a chance to come back. God forbid somebody takes their last breath and not just believe. Make the decision to believe. And he did the impossible 3 days later, or the supernatural 3 days later. He resurrected from the dead. See, that's why he came to the earth, because you and I can't do that, Terry. I can't resurrect from the dead. You see? So it's all it takes. That's the condition. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. That's what I just described. And here's the condition, that whosoever believeth in me, in him, that he's referring to Christ, should not perish but have everlasting life. Period. That's all you got to do. You see, there's no, what was it? There's no, how did you put it, Terry? Manipulation there. It's a choice. You either believe or I do. Yeah, I have 3 children. Let me see if I can follow your comments that I was not able to kind of question answer as I was talking here. Did God create you? Did he create you so your will is his will? I think I covered that. What are you believing? The Word of God. What was the fruit? I'd have to look at the verse and see exactly what. Risk it all. You have to go. It's called duality. You have to have darkness and light. You have to have right equally to wrong. But there are people that are suffering the same fate. Yeah, it kind of lost me because I wasn't reading your comments as I was talking, so I don't know what part of what I was saying those are reference to? Oh, my camera stopped because it's 5 minutes to midnight. But you know what? Hey, Terry, this is actually a good Tyson Hollenbeck. Yeah, my camera dies, or my battery dies at like almost exactly 2 hours, somewhere thereabouts 2 hours. So it was actually perfect. I started at 10, and I was going to do a 2-hour live stream. And it's that time right now. It's 4 minutes to midnight here on the East Coast. So I would love to talk more about this. If you haven't already, Terry, yeah, click, and this isn't a sales pitch. If you want to know when I come on next, you know the drill. Click on the bell icon and hit, subscribe, and however often or whatever, all private or personal or none, whatever those options are under the bell icon. And that way you know when I come on live again and or post a new video. And I'm going to do this again on Friday, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until midnight, or whenever it ends. But I'm hoping I can get back on a normal schedule and not go past 2 in the morning. So it'll be 4 hours, 10 till 2. But yeah, thanks, OG, for kicking it with me again. Awesome. Yeah, Terry, hang around if you want to come back in future, live streams. OG's a good subject elaborator, and a few of them. Risk It All, Crypto, the guy from the UK, Josh Eisen, he was here earlier. I wonder what happened to Josh. Eson, he's in the USA. He's a ex-Special Forces Army, U.S. Army. And Jeff Sasso is, as the last part of his name says, SAS in the UK. Prior Navy, Corpsman, myself, and there's a few others that have come in prior military as well. But yeah, did you say you're in Vineland? That's a small world, bro. I'm in Galloway. Right there, 10 miles off, next to Absecon from Atlantic City. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna head out like an infant and actually go lay my head down next to my spouse, and hopefully wake up at 6 o'clock, 6:30 tomorrow morning, and take her to work, and then I'll be up like a normal daytime person, and give that a try. Once again, I keep saying that, and I keep resorting back to this horrible 4, 5, 6 in the morning routine. All right, guys, I'm out. As you were, I wish I had my camera on. I'd salute you as I normally do, but yeah, my battery dies at the 2-hour mark, and then I usually switch it out and do another 2 hours. But I got to keep it short tonight. So later, Gator.